So come and tell me what went wrong. Hi, my name's Christine L. Conroy. Welcome to Happy Stuff and Fluff, a channel for women over 50 who are getting happy and growing younger. So way back when I first started the Happy Stuff and Fluff channel, one of the exercises I suggested that you do, and I sincerely hope you still do it because these things are ongoing, was the 3 good things exercise, which increases your positivity and your happiness and well-being tenfold and will continue to do so the more you do it. And it was just simply the exercise of 3 good things where you ask yourself, what went well? That's another way of putting it. So during your week, either every night if you want to, and then 2 or 3 times a week, ask yourself what went well. I even suggested that you, when you have your grandchildren around for dinner and they're around the table, you ask them, tell me 3 things that went well for you this week, or 3 good things that happened to you, to get them into the habit of looking for the positive and not looking always for the negative. So I hope you're doing that because it really works well with children as it does with us too. So why am I asking then what went wrong, which is clearly quite negative? Well, because this is what I want you to do. What I would like you to do is obviously the opposite to the 3 good things exercise, but I only want you to do it once a week, is to ask yourself what went wrong this week, or what mistakes did I make this week, and I want you to write it down. Choose one. If you've made more than one, you can do this with 2 if you like, but ask yourself what went wrong, what mistakes did I make. Write it down, just the facts, not the emotion of it now, because you're looking back at it, the emotion should have died away, and you can just write down the facts, but then ask yourself, what could I learn from it? Or what did I learn from that mistake? Now, it could be a mistake as simple as perhaps you said something to a colleague at work that you wish you hadn't said. You could have made a chocolate cake that burnt. And then those are the mistakes you made. What did I learn from it? Well, look at whatever it was that you said to your colleague and ask yourself, how could I have said that better? The chocolate cake, how could I have stopped it from burning? And learn from that mistake, and then write down what you've learned from it. Then if you wish, you can ask yourself, okay, what can I do about it? Very often there's nothing you can do about it, and that's okay, because it isn't a fail if you learn something from it, and that's the whole point. So make use of your mistakes by learning the lessons from them and then doing something about them if you can. So for example, the colleague at work, I wish I hadn't spoken to her like that. I could have said it better. I could have said this. Then you might think, well, what I can do now is I can go and say to her, look, I'm sorry I spoke to you like that. What I really meant was this. Sorry. The microphone's the bane of my life today. I did this full film without even turning it on. So I'm going to continue. Yeah, so you see how powerful this exercise is. But I do only want you to do it once a week. And I'm going to tell you a guilty pleasure of mine shortly. Except that I don't really believe in guilty pleasures, because pleasure, you shouldn't feel guilty about pleasures, as long as, of course, they don't harm anybody else. There's no such thing. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I want you to do. Think about what went wrong. What can I learn from it? Is there anything I can do about it? Those are the questions to ask yourself. And then that means that you will be winning. So we either win or we learn is a very good saying to remember. And if you make the most of your mistakes, then you don't feel bad either. But what you learn from them can take you on to a more successful experience in the future. Okay, so my guilty pleasure is Tom Selleck. I love Tom Selleck. We don't see him enough on British TV. But I watch a programme of his that I think must have been out a long time ago in the US, and it's called Blue Bloods. And yes, okay, it's probably a little bit cheesy, and I guess that's why I think it's a guilty pleasure. But why I'm telling you about this is because this family, who are the key characters in the programme, they're all involved in the police service or the legal service, and they meet every Sunday for Sunday lunch, and they are a very strong Catholic family, and they say grace at the table, and then there's discussions about what's happened to them during the week. And this particular episode I was watching, they actually talked about to the grandchildren, how did you mess up, is their terminology. How did you mess up this week? So again, coming back to your grandchildren, this is such a great idea to say to your grandchildren, tell me the mistakes you made, tell me how you messed up this week, and then go through this learning system with them so that as they go through their lives, they don't get hung up or brought down by things that they did wrong. And you're able to teach them that failing is not failing unless you don't learn from the mistake. So it's another great one to do with your grandchildren. And this is what reminded me to talk to you about it. I thought how great that on these programmes, that's incredibly popular, this show, because there are lots of series and dozens of episodes for you to get your teeth into. It's just light watching, but they make some very good points, I think. And for them to be talking like this around the dinner table in a show like that, I just think is marvellous. Okay, so now you know Tom Selleck is one of my, not so much Tom Selleck, but certainly that show could be considered a guilty pleasure of mine. If you haven't watched it, watch it maybe and see what you think. In the meantime, once a week, try to do this. What went wrong? What was my role in it? How can I learn from it? And is there anything I can do about it now? Okay, so what do you think of the website? Quite a few of you said some lovely things about it, and I'm so grateful, because it's a little bit nerve-wracking sometimes putting things out there into the world, so it's great to have some positive feedback on that. And please sign up for the newsletter so that I can pop into your inbox with a little bit of motivation and happiness through your week. And until then, remember that on the Happy Stuff and Fluff, we are getting happy and growing younger. See you next time.